So this month we've been talking about the financial health and prosperity that is in our lives. And I know Rev Madeleine's been talking for the last few. I'll be back. Okay. Bye. Rev Madeleine's been talking for the last couple weeks, and I unfortunately missed it. So if you hear something again, it was important. There are so many spiritual teachers. So this talk is Money is God in Action. So there are so many spiritual teachers. Catherine Ponder, John Randolph Price, Eric Butterworth, Deepak Chopra, Edwin Gaines, Napoleon Hill, blah, 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 blah. There are so many. So there was so much material. And if you want to do prosperity, ask me what book to read, because there's a zillion of them. I went to my bookshelf and it's like, oh my God. So it's been an issue for me at different times in my life. So I want you to know that all of us have experience with it, and all of us hold money in different ways. But first off, what is money? And money is... I like dollar bill. I mean, I like bigger bills. But anyway, okay. Gold coins. That's right. Oh, that's good. So God is all there is. But then where does God show up? God shows up as our forms, as our bodies, in our money, in our food, our substance, in our planet. God is all there is. So, henceforth, God is money. Okay, I'm done. No, you guys know better than that. But anyway, there's an infinite supply of all the good from Spirit, that one divine source. It's always flowing. It's got an ebb and a flow to it. And it is available to us all the time. Always available to you. And it's like, well, where's the limitation part then? Oh, it must be in me. Ha, 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 ha. Yuck. But money is always available, because money, according to John Randolph Price, is my money, and it's my, I have some of it, and then it belongs to me, so it's my own natural, because it is natural, it flows, and it's always there, and it's always been there. Energy, and this is key. It's that energy, that impetus, that divine cosmic force, that movement, that action. That energy is mine. And then it yields investment, it yields money, it yields abundance, it yields food. It's the harvest. It's the return on the energy and the ideas and the thoughts in action. And it's all a natural process. It happens that way. Now, money was not always like what we think of money. It was a barter system first. You know, you can go into the history of money, which I won't do here. But it's like almost like breathing. And Eric Butterworth tells us that money is an enabling symbol. It's a tangible representation of the universal substance, which enables you to provide food, shelter, clothing, entertainment, books, leisure activities, security. I've gone off that. Anything you want is available. Now, sometimes we don't believe that. So what are our beliefs around it? What are our attitudes? What do we think about money? I know a lot of people think about money a lot, and they're worried about it. And they're worried about it if they have it, and they worry about it if they don't have it. And it's really kind of funny if you look at it that way. So it's complicated, but then it's not complicated. So it's good. Money is neutral. There's nothing like wrong with it. It's all good. And it's that potential that transforms into different forms. It goes all the way. And it's exchangeable. It'd be if you had an elephant that you wanted to exchange with someone, it's a whole lot easier just to do the money thing. And then you go pick up your elephant. I'm not bringing it in for you. You know what, or whatever it is. So Raymond Charles Barker tells us that money is God in action. And he's like he founded the Religious Science Church in New York, in Manhattan, eons ago, and he died in 1988. But money is God is in action. Money is a vital part of the necessary circulatory system of this age. As it is a necessity for the economic health of all of us, it must be a spiritual idea. It truly is. The moment that you shift your attention from the concept of money is evil to money is wonderful, you'll begin to have a greater circulation in your life. So it's what you think about that impacts the amount of money you have. And it's a constant circulation, and it's always available, and it's like what we're thinking about it. What idea are we putting forth? Where is our energy? Where is our psychic impetus going? And the Bible, of course, we have this quote, or misquote, that money is the root of all evils. Well, hoarding and greed, I would probably agree with you. But the actual biblical quote is, the love of money is the root of all evils. So it's stopping the flow is the root of all evils, so that it's not that freedom, that good, that abundance that's going all around all the time. And so our attitudes towards money is reflected in our prosperity. So what we have in our lives is a direct printout of how we think about money, the abundance of that. And money is, like I said, it's perfectly innocent. It doesn't do anything. It's what we do with it. And if you feel like you need money, you're not looking for money. You're increasing your need. So if it's, oh, I need money. Oh, yeah. Or if someone asks you how much you make and you say, I only make $1,000 a month. You are discounting by using the word only. You're saying, oh, it's like, they only pay me this. My God, they pay me this. Drop that one word out, it shifts your entire consciousness. And it's an inner thing. The control is in here. It's not out there at all. It's not they, or, it's not that. And money is spirit. It's transforming. It's changing. It's in different forms all the time, constantly. I love it when I get books. And books are a different form of money, or, knowledge or whatever. It's all amazing. So what do you believe about money? What are your beliefs? Have you thought about that? You can look in your life and see how it's worked. And there are some times in my life where it worked great, and other times it's like, oh, this is not so good. It's not, And some of it was before I found this teaching, to switch my consciousness around abundance and prosperity. But, sometimes you slip into it. So some people have the idea that being poor is more virtuous or more pious. And I know that's been taught. And it's funny because you've got someone like Gandhi who, wore a loincloth, had his spinning wheel, and traveled around the country with amazing ideas and thoughts. But behind the scenes, one of his followers said, it takes an awful lot of money to keep Gandhi living in poverty. Because, hello, there's an entourage that needs to be fed and housed and taken care of. I wonder how they did it on the Salt March. I was curious about that, because there was a zillion people. But there's good coming from money all the time. And so if we get judgmental about it, we stop the flow. We stop the flow, because then we're, and we're looking at someone else and judging them too. So, and I hate to say that, but there's a lot of rich, wealthy people that I wouldn't want to be friends with. But it's not because they have money. It's because of other things. They're spiritual beings too. They're a reflection. There's something, maybe I'm projecting something onto them. What is my learning there? What is my lesson? That's what's in my hands. I do what's in my hands. So money coming to us is a blessing. It is ours. Ernest Holmes has this spiritual mind treatment. It's short, so I'm going to read it to you. For money. So he says this, and then you may want to close your eyes and take these words as your own if you want to. All supply is of spirit, and money represents a form of my supply. Money is a divine idea. It flows to and from me, enabling me to be comfortable, prosperous, and to enjoy the pleasures of life. God withholds no good thing from me. The mind which created me now stimulates my thought and effort into greater right activity. I am not in bondage to money. Instead, money now serves me as I serve life. Money is a symbol of God's abundance, and I accept that which is rightfully mine. And so it is. And if you want money, ask for it. Do a spiritual mind treatment. Pixie would be glad to pray with you for your abundance and prosperity. Put a prayer request in the box. It's like, go for it. God wants you to be prosperous. Because if you're prosperous, what are you going to do? You're going to pass it on. You can't help but feel that way. It's just like, it's so amazing. It's that divine flow. You can live opulently. You can live in security and comfort. Money's the vehicle for that. There's nothing wrong with that. And my prosperity prospers other people. And there are a slew of spiritual practices around this. And I want to share one with you. My nephew, I just got back from San Diego and LA and stuff. And my nephew is at USC as a graduate student, and he plays the bass. Oops, it's over here. The big one. And so he could fit the starving artist as a musician, or he could fit the starving grad student. And occasionally he does think that way. But I told him I gifted him something that is a spiritual practice that I've done for years and years and years. And that is, I gave him a $100 bill, folded up. This one's been in my wallet for over 16 years. It's seed money. I walk around knowing that I'm prosperous. This attracts more money. Spirit is saying, I'm saying, yes, I'm open. Yes, my consciousness is of abundance. Yes, Spirit, I'm accepting it. It's a dynamic seed. It's saying yes. And so can I shift his consciousness, my nephew? No. But I can certainly plant the seeds and support. And I gave him $100. And I said, fold it up and put it in your wallet in a place where you won't spend it unless it's truly an emergency. Because then you can always replace it. But so he will never be broke. Because look at some of the words we talk about around the sayings that are around money. I'm broke. You're not broke. You're never broke. Even if you have no money, you're not broke. Anyway. So appreciate it, bless it, hold it, and pass it on. It's a magnet. So my hope for him is that he starts attracting gigs. He gets to play in more places. I told him to go to Agape. I said, go to Agape. They probably need musicians. I don't know, but you never know. Because it's that divine idea that is sparked that you put into action that attracts the abundance and the money. It's not likely, it's possible, but it's not likely to happen that if you'd be sitting there, the money would just fall in your lap. I mean, $100 fell in Evan's lap, but it doesn't often happen that. But you never know. I mean, sometimes it does. During my corporate life, and I don't know how many of you know my history, but I did corporate stuff years ago. One time I had been working in a place and I decided to change jobs, and I did a bunch of work. But when I changed jobs, I got a 41% increase in salary. I shifted my consciousness, my belief, my self-esteem. And I accepted. I knew and this was partly with the science of mind, I knew that there was more for me to experience. And so I did that. And then having that practice of sharing with others is so important. Because money is ideas. Wealth is in the ideas, it's not in the money. And so it's putting that money into action that's so important. It's like rushing water. It's always flowing. So one of the things my sister and I also did when we were in San Diego is we went to the IMAX theater and saw a movie called Dream Big. And it's actually, the purpose of the movie is for engineering students to get excited about being an engineer. You know, they do a lot of stuff with college age kids. And one of the women in the movie was Avery Bang. And she was just amazing. It's so inspired. But what they did is they are doing work in third world countries. So they were looking for where they could really make an impact. So they were down in Haiti. And there was a village across the river. And everything was on the other side of the river. The healthcare, the school, all the markets for the goods that they were making, everything was across the river. And so they were impoverished. And one woman who had 8 children who lived in the village was crossing the river, and the current swept her away and she drowned. And yet her kids had to go across that river to go to school. So what this organization that Avery is part of called Bridges to Prosperity do is they build footbridges across expanses of river. And so they did that in this village in Haiti. The kids, the looks on their faces in the movie as they were crossing the bridge to go to school. It was amazing. Can you imagine being able to just walk across a bridge where before you were taking your life in your own hands to get across? And then when the hurricane came through and wiped them out, they went back and fixed them, as well as having trained the local people. Because you want to pass on the knowledge, the thoughts, the ideas, so that the locals can do the work as well. They have the tools now to do the things that they need for their community. They did a study, Bridges to Prosperity did a study, and it was in Nicaragua. And they kept track of the difference that bridge that they put in there made. And they said the crop yields went up 56% because they could invest in supplies for agriculture. And those investments went up 73%. And then they could access the market. And people could walk across the bridge to go to work, so that personal income went up 30%. And debt decreased 60%. And the average household income went up 30%. And that was from a footbridge. And they do fundraising. So it's a divine idea coming together with prosperity from somewhere else, getting the materials, getting all this, and build. And look at the difference it makes. Look at the difference it makes. So a spiritual practice is putting your money into action to help others. Doing that all the time. A couple more things, just wanted to. One of the other things that my sister and I did is we walked down on the boardwalk and kind of the beach down in front of the Hotel del Coronado. Some of you have probably been there. And one of the things that we do, because our mom transitioned in 2001. And so one of our practices is that whenever we find money, it's mom saying hello and that we're there for you. So here we are walking down the boardwalk, and it's right on the edge of the sand, and there is pennies. I found a penny. So mom was saying hi and that she loves us. Now, a lot of times you'll find pennies in front of a cash register and stuff like that. But this penny was in the middle of nowhere. And my sister and I, mom says hi. Mom says hi. Sometimes she says hi with more than a penny too. That's really not. She's really happy to see us, but it's really funny. So I want to leave you with one thing that Edwene Gaines, and I don't know, some of you may know her. She has this definition of prosperity that I really, really liked. So I wanted to give it to you. There's 4 points to it. The first one is a vitally alive physical body to provide a comfortable worldly home for the spiritual beings that we are. Second, relationships that are satisfying, nurturing, honest, and work all of the time. I would add, even when things aren't going well, being engaged, they're still working. Third, work that we love so much that it's not work, it's play. That we spend our days doing wonderful things. And lastly, all the money that we can spend. All the money that you can spend. Yay. And bless the money that goes through your hands. Appreciate it. It is doing good work. It is doing your work. It is blessing others. And money truly is God in action. It's flowing through you. And you are a divine conduit. And it's good to remember that. And money will attract more. And then you can give more. So bless you. Let's join in our affirmation. No. There we go. Let's do it together. I am consciously aligned with God's Spirit's abundant flowing supply. I am consciously aligned with God's Spirit's abundant flowing supply. I am consciously aligned with God's Spirit's abundant flowing supply. And so it is.